Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We're asking what's new for Star Wars Armada in 2024 today. We have a new year just around the corner, and with Adepticon approaching, it's going to be time for the big news dumps, especially those games that did not get mentioned at Mini Stravaganza. So for Star Wars Armada fans, there are a lot of questions. Is there going to be anything more? Is AMG going to, pick up the pace in some type of development, or are we going to be kind of left hanging again? So I want to address those questions, talk about them today. While there's not a lot of concrete information, there is some things that give us hints that some good things could be on the way. So let's go ahead and talk about this. I want to also remind you guys we are doing the 12 Days of Life Day all month long. So if you want to have a chance to enter to win any of these, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. So make sure you also, while you're here, I'd love to have you guys stick around too. We have links in the video description for things like our Discord. Love to have you guys join our Discord to keep the discussion going there as well. Social media links and Crabbok.com, where we have free Armada AI system and some other homebrew expansions that I've come up with that you guys can check out. Over on Crabbok.com. If you're interested in Star Wars Armada or any other Star Wars tabletop games, you're in the right place. So let's go ahead and talk about 2024. So we're going to have to probably wait a couple of months for any kind of news, because I don't think we'll get anything before Adepticon, which is always usually at the end of March or beginning of April. I think it's kind of like right at that final weekend in between those 2 months in 2024. And usually during Adepticon, that's when AMG has said that they plan to do their big announcements and reveals for the year. That's where we got a lot of stuff last year. We did get some Armada news last year. It was a surprise, too, because we weren't expecting much. There was rapid reinforcements that came out surprisingly about 2 years ago, well, a year and a half ago at this point. And then at Adepticon, well, actually before Adepticon, they teased during an interview that I had with Will Schick, they talked about how there was at least one more rapid reinforcements coming, and we did see that previewed at Adepticon. So it is, in theory, possible that there could be more than one rapid reinforcements coming. So that's certainly a possibility. And I think if you look at what they have been doing with Armada, which has been, it seems like nothing because we haven't gotten new physical product. Still, they are doing stuff. So, and doing stuff is better than doing nothing. And so we're going to talk about some of the things that they have been doing. So they have been releasing rapid reinforcements. They have been listening to us with feedback. There's a new Discord that's up. There's Armada sections. There's a new website that's up that has Armada sections. Armada's at the top of the website. So obviously it's alphabetical order and not grouped by priority. But still, it's there. They have also been doing, listening to us as far as balance changes and point cost adjustments, because we've seen both of those. We've seen big changes to rapid reinforcements, and so and again, a lot of people have mixed views on that, because it's a blessing and a curse. And what I mean by that is that I want to focus on the blessing. That means they're listening to us. They're listening to the feedback, especially because a lot of it has been loud feedback, but they are listening. There are play testers also that are working on some of this stuff. I know some people have said there's no way that this stuff was play tested and things like that. And apparently that's not the case. But the curse comes with the fact that, some things in Rapid Reinforcements 2 specifically came out and they were busted, like Anakin Skywalker. And so and also I would say Matchstick 2 was kind of busted, and just a little overpowered, and not maybe more than a little overpowered. We can beg to differ on how overpowered certain things were, but also undercosted, right? So it's a blessing and a curse. It's kind of a bad thing that you get things that kind of come out that are crazy strong, but it's a blessing to know that they're listening to us and that they've fixed the mistake. And overall, I'll take it, because it's breathing, it breathes new life into the game when we get even something very, very, very small like rapid reinforcements. I think the Armada community has grown accustomed to not getting very much. So even if we only get one thing in 2024, it's still pretty cool. So what are we going to get? I think we're going to get another rapid reinforcements. I think that is a thing that they're going to be doing probably every year. So we can probably expect rapid reinforcements somewhere around mid-April. is going to be my guess. What are we likely to get? Well, if we look at the changes to Anakin Skywalker, he seems to kind of give us some clues. I think we're going to be getting, among other things, I think we'll be getting the Republic Architons. I think that we will kind of return to, we didn't get any new ship variants in Rapid Reinforcements 1, but we did in Rapid Reinforcements 2, but we did in Rapid Reinforcements 1. And I think if we look at some of the differences between 1 and 2, it might paint a picture of what's possible for Rapid Reinforcements 3. What I mean by that is Rapid Reinforcements 1 was a little bit more well-rounded. You had one ship type for every faction and one squadron for almost every faction. Sorry, Separatists, yours didn't make the cut that time. Still curious if whatever it was supposed to be will eventually show up. I'm thinking like Jango Fett and a fire spray. Why have they not done that yet? That should also be something that probably comes. Maybe it was a license thing. Maybe it was he was overpowered thing. Not 100% sure, but I think he should probably show up at some point. I also think we'll be getting squadrons because both Rapid Reinforcements have had squadrons. Rapid Reinforcements 2 also had a squadron for every faction. This time Separatists did get one. They got Wat Tambor, who's okay. And so, you have a squadron now for every faction. I don't know if we need, I don't know if we need more squadrons for every faction in Rapid Reinforcements 3, but it seems like we'll probably get that. But then the other thing is we got 4 other cards. Rapid Reinforcements 1 gave us a new ship type for each faction, kind of borrowing a cross-faction ship. And then Rapid Reinforcements 2 varied things up again because it wasn't new ship types. You had 2 commanders and then 2 officers. So kind of different, but also kind of cool. We had General Draven and Anakin Skywalker, and it's strange because it wasn't like, the Clone Wars factions needed commanders most of all, and they didn't get them, whereas the Rebels didn't really need one, but now the Rebels have one more over the Empire that, compared to how it was before. And then you had Asajj and Governor Price, which Price was strong as heck for the Empire, and Asajj is marginally usable for the CIS. She got a little change too. So what this means is they don't have to be symmetric with how they do things. It's possible they might give us the Republic Architons and no other ships. It could be just that one ship. What I would like to see is also a Separatist ship, but it's a lot harder to come up with an existing ship that matches it, perfectly. Like, to be fair, like the Gazanti going to become a Sea-Rock Gazanti for the Sea-Rock for the Separatists was a bit of a stretch. And if they're willing to do stretches like that, then I'm fine, because then there still exists ships that can go over if they're going to do things like that. But if they're not going to be able to do much of a stretch, then maybe this is the only ship that we're super likely to get. I think this is definitely the #1 contender for new things showing up in Rapid Reinforcements. I think the Separatists will get another commander. I'm thinking Wat Tambor is a great option. Again, Clone Wars need the most help with commanders and unique content, and so I think we'll get stuff like that. Probably some more squadrons. Jango Fett in the Slave One, probably. Maybe the problem was they don't want to print the word Slave One anymore because they've been calling it Boba Fett's Starship everywhere. I know that the name isn't the best and cleanest name that exists within Star Wars, but since they haven't changed the name of it in canon, they're just kind of referring to it differently. I wonder how that has any kind of bearing on what we will see if they would decide to ever do Jango Fett in this or any other game. He can still run the Slave One and X-Wing, right? So it's still legal. It's still a thing. I'm just curious. I'm curious how all of that is going to work out. But I definitely think we're going to get a Rapid Reinforcements 3. I also think we'll see some other things. I think we might see more balance and points changes. We've seen points changes already, which was a big deal. I didn't think that they were going to touch points at all. Now, granted, the points changes we've seen were mostly, I would say largely focused on Rapid Reinforcement stuff, but there were points changes that impacted existing things as well. Some of the commanders like Agate and Ramadi got points changes. You also saw points changes to the Onagers, which was a big breath of fresh air, saying, hey, you're looking at some of the longest standing, most significant issues. But that makes me think maybe we'll see things that were basically on the chopping block, or not the chopping block to go away, but the chopping block to get reduced a little bit. The reduction block. The Victory Star Destroyer is one of the top contenders for things that need a points rebalance. I would love to see the victory get reduced in points. And also, for the record, I'd love to see Darth Vader Officer get at least slightly increased. He's just so valuable for what he provides. And for only 1 point, he's practically an auto-include. I get that there's an opportunity cost by taking Vader as an officer, which means then you can't take him as a squadron or a commander or a boarding team or any of the other various forms that he comes. But for 1 point, it's super effective as an officer. But I'd love to see the victory kind of get reduced. I know that the original Armada developers had said that was one of their plans, was to reduce the cost of the Victory Star Destroyer because for what it costs versus what it provides, it's not perfectly lined up. And I could see it coming down between 5, 10, or maybe even 11 or 12 points and fitting more nicely into the game. I do happen to like the Victory Star Destroyer. I would love to be able to field them a little bit more easily, and having it get reduced would be a great way to do that. I do think we'll see points changes maybe coincide after. It's possible that if Rapid Reinforcements 3 comes out, there may be some balance changes that have to go along with that. I'm not sure how much of a window and how much playtesting they're actually able to give. And let's be honest, no amount of playtesting can adequately match the way the community is going to, Steve, take the game and take with the content and run with it. They can do better than they did with Rapid Reinforcements 2, but there's always going to be some things that kind of slip through the cracks. I know I've play tested many of things and over the years, and a lot of which I'm not at liberty to really talk about in detail, but I can tell you that as much as your playtesting groups think they have it figured out, once it hits the entire world, somebody's going to figure out something that the playtesting group didn't. And so balance changes have to happen. Points changes have to happen. So I think points changes are something that are going to be coming in 2024. Lastly, I think it's not out of the question to see rules changes. And this kind of goes with balance changes. There are certain things that I think I would love to see. And some of them I think a lot of people kind of just agree on. One of those being Salvo. Not trying to completely nerf Salvo, but the thing I'd like to see happen with Salvo, it makes sense with the onagers, but also really makes sense with the SFAT cannons for the Victory Star Destroyers, is that why can't I salvo an ignition attack? Why can't I salvo an ignition attack if I'm in range to salvo naturally? What is it that, I get that you can't salvo an ignition attack because a lot of times those happen at extreme range. But what happens when I'm close enough that I would have been able to salvo anyway? What's stopping my guns from shooting? I get it if you roll the accuracy. Sure, you can stop the salvo, like you're kind of firing and blinding the the targeting systems or whatever you're hitting. You impacted the targeting systems, fried them a little bit with your shot. But if you, let's say you miss, let's say you salvo me and you roll blanks, or so you ignition attack me. You super weapon attack me and roll all blanks. What's up then? I don't think it's out of the question to ask for some light balance changes and changes to the way salvo works. I'd like to also have this accompany, and I'm hoping this happens, an actual rule book on atomicmassgames.com. They have a lot of Armada documents, and I'd love to see the full rule book. There is a rules reference guide, but I'd actually like to see like a new look at the learn to play or the how to play rule book, because it doesn't it doesn't exactly and they've done that for a lot of the other games, which has been very, very nice. But like to see everything kind of get consolidated, and they have those for the other games. So, but if they're, I'm not saying I want them to kind of redo the rules, but just a couple of tweaks, the ones that everybody can agree on, and I'm not saying everybody agrees on salvo, being able to salvo an ignition attack, but I haven't talked to a person yet who is like, yeah, you should never be able to salvo. I've never seen anybody who said that. Especially now with Anakin being nerfed and salvo's kind of safe, and it's not super crazy OP again, because that was the only defense against OP Anakin. Well, not the only defense, but it was one one avenue where it's like, all right, well, I'm never going to attack Anakin normally. I'm only going to ignition attack him. And that was definitely a thing you could have done to try to combat him. So with him being fixed, let's reinvestigate that. Let's at least run it through the playtesters, and everybody I've talked to seems to agree, and I definitely agree. When you are normal range of salvo, it stinks not to be able to salvo bow because it just happened to be an ignition attack that happened at close or medium range or something like that. So those are some things I think we can look forward to in 2024. Plus reprints. I mean, they're doing reprints. I really want to see the Architans reprinted. I think if we get the Architans in Rapid Reinforcements 3 for the Republic, it's great to see Architans reprints hit the shelves. I'd love to see them in a 2-pack, too. Can we change the packaging up a little bit? Put 2 Architans in a single box, so maybe people stop going crazy and buying all of them. You just buy one. You get 2 ships. Maybe you got one for each faction. They could even do them in a, like an Imperial and Republic paint job, so you get 2 different Architans. Of course, you can fly them. A lot of people like to repaint them anyway. But reprint the Architans. So let's put those things in stock. Maybe that's a reason we haven't seen the Architans hit Rapid Reinforcements 3 yet, because they're like, wait, we don't have any. So why do we want to kind of tell people, oh, go out and buy more Architans when we don't have any Architans to sell? So definitely let's get the Imperial Light Cruiser, aka the Architans, reprinted. That was definitely one of their goals from the beginning, is to continue to support reprints and keeping this game in stock. I'd love to see it. There's a lot of other things that I'd like to see that I don't really expect them to do, like acrylic bases, like replacement kits or alternate color acrylic bases, and just so many people would buy that stuff. I'm sure I would buy a lot of them. I'd do them for each faction, like have all your Imperials in green bases, have all your Rebels in orange bases, or whatever. Like just have the option to do whatever. They did something like that for X-Wing back in old 1.0 X-Wing, and they sold like hotcakes. They were super, super cool, and never redid it again for 2nd edition. So now people have like these mixed collections, and they can't complete because you have different bases now, different base sizes. Let's get the acrylic base kits going for Armada. That'd be super awesome. Color them up a little bit. Even have some clear ones too. People sometimes have the little things that break and need replacement. It would be awesome. I don't know why they don't do that. But that's more wish listy than 2024. Realistic predictions. So I do think we're going to be getting stuff. Also, some of the playtesters that have been talking have been not saying anything revealing much, but saying I didn't even know they were allowed to say they were playtesters, but have said that they're optimistic. And I happen to know that optimistic is kind of code for there's stuff coming. So it's not even code. It's you're not really saying the quiet part quietly. You're saying you're saying it out loud. When if you're optimistic about something, that means that there's stuff coming. So that's exciting to me. That doesn't necessarily mean physical product, and I believe it was even kind of pointed out it's not physical product in certain interviews that are out there. So it's just exciting to know that there's going to be potentially more of something coming. And I think what's most likely is a Rapid Reinforcements style project, or straight up Rapid Reinforcements 3. I'd love to also see them put all the Rapid Reinforcement stuff into a card pack and actually sell physical product again. We'll see if that ever happens. Let's go ahead and shift focus a little bit to 12 Days of Life Day. We're going to do a giveaway right now. Today's giveaway is Armada based, and this is going to be from the last, I think, I don't know what tournament, the Gen Con tournament. I think this was a top 16 Architans. Spot gloss is hard like a credit card. You look how fancy it is. You got the little top 16 on there, and it's double-sided. Oh, there's a hammerhead on the other side. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. So this is a real super, super cool looking promo. This one is going to go out to Captain Mulhair. Congratulations, Captain Mulhair. And if you did not win, don't worry. There's opportunities. Anything that doesn't get claimed within 30 days is rolling over into Patreon. So patrons will have extra chances at that. By the way, big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this whole channel possible. So thank you so much for your continued support. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. The spice must flow. Always look on the bright side of life, and always wash your socks.